Okay, our next section to work on is the base. So we just need to prepare the different sections. So the flaps, you're going to sew right sides together. So you might want to clip those pieces ready to go. And you should have 2 flaps, unless you've chosen just to have 1 or none, up to you. Okay, so 2 flaps. And then this is our binding clip section. So right sides together, but you just want to sew down one side of it and then you're going to turn it through. So really you just need to work out which side of your fabric you want to be showing, obviously. And then again the same thing with your pen pocket. So you're only going to sew along the top. So just clip that together. And then again with the snips pocket, you're only going to sew along the top. And then you've got your main pocket. So you have 2 pieces, the main part and the lining. I just used a plain colour because it's easy to see them. And then you're going to sew the top and the bottom 1/4 inch seam. Again, clip them in place, ready to go. And then take them away and stitch those different pieces. Okay, so pretty much every single time I make this bag, I forget to put in the binding clip holder before I sew the bottom edge of my pocket. So don't forget to do that. So basically we just, because we want it on the right hand, the left hand side when you're looking at it. So just put it in the left hand corner and then fold over the other edge, and then we just clip the pieces together and we stitch along the seam allowance and then we turn it through. Okay, so now we're going to make some marks on our pocket and our pen pocket so that we can, when we put them into the case, we can stitch it down to form the pockets properly. So first of all, we're going to do one from the left hand edge, so facing you how you would have it in the base, 3 1/4. So it should go in line with the edge of the clip, and then from the edge again 6 1/4. And then at 8 inches. Yeah. So I use the Hera marker again, and then when we put it in we'll stitch down there, but we're going to top stitch this first. And then this, the pen pocket, is going to be from the left hand edge again, 1 1/4. I mean, you can change these markings, you don't have to stick to what I've done. Please feel free to adapt it. And then 2 1/2 inches. And then that'll be ready to stitch down after we've top stitched. Okay, so now we have to do a bit of top stitching. So just across the top edge, so the short edge of your pen pocket. Make sure you back tack. I like to do mine really close to the edge. You don't need to back tack at that end though. And then this is the snips pocket. And then our main long pocket. You don't have to back tack at this one because it'll go into the seam allowance. And the last thing to do is our little flat pocket, so just make sure you've got the interfacing side up. And the last one. And then they're all ready to put in. Okay, once we've sewn all of our sections together from our base, we need firstly to trim just a tiny bit off the corners. Just makes it a bit neater when you're turning it through. Okay, so it's literally just a tiny piece. And then turn it through. I use a knitting needle and just gently push the corner, and then we're going to press it in a minute, and then that's ready to go. So then repeat for the other two sections, your snips pocket and your pen pocket. So just gently ease it in, and then just finger press for now, and then we're going to press it with an iron, and we're going to top stitch after that. Okay, and then for the big long pocket, base pocket I think it's called, just turn the whole thing through. And again, you can finger press, or you can just do this when you iron. If you want to beforehand, you can iron the seams open, and then when you fold it through, it makes it just a little bit easier, but you don't have to do that. And then with the little pockets, the little flaps rather, I just trim it back a tiny bit around the corners. On each side. You can cut V's into the corners as well, but I find this is just as good sometimes. Okay, and then I take my knitting needle and just gently press around the corners. Give it a nice edge, and then we'll press that with an iron, and then repeat for your last one. Okay, it's all ready to press. Okay, so now that we've made all of our pieces, we're going to put them into our pouch. So you really want to stitch down your snips pocket first, and you can check the measurement out in the pattern, but one way to find out if it's exactly, because obviously, you know, seam allowances differ, or different aspects, or the edges of the fabric, the way that we've cut it, or the type of the fabric can have an effect. So we just want to make sure that it's going to sit nice and neatly. So I will put my pen pocket and then just literally just untuck underneath the snips pocket, and then I usually use pins to hold it down. You can also clip it along the bottom if you want to, and then we're just gonna stitch down the left hand side of the snips pocket, and we can take that one off for the moment, and then once that's in place we can put it down. And then your long pocket goes along the top, so grab a ruler and measure your 1 inch down, and again you can just clip it in place at the sides, or you can use pins if you want to keep it in place the whole way down. And then we're just literally going to top stitch along the bottom, and then once we've top stitched along the bottom we will do the side bits, and we can do both of those bits at the same. Okay, so now we are going to top stitch down the left hand side of our snips pocket. If you do it this way down, you don't have to back tack. But do back tack the other end, the far end, just to keep it in place. And then along the bottom edge of the main pocket, and then I go from the bottom edge up, then it saves any puckering. Back tack both ends. And now for this last, for this last pocket, we need some wadding or something else. You can stuff it with toy stuffing if you want, but I just cut a few pieces of wadding, and then I literally, I will start and then I'll just shove it in before I do that final seam. So you could even do it at this point. And then you just want to make sure it's all the way in. And then I baste down the side about 1/8 of an inch, just to hold it in place. I mean, you can do it after if you want, and then just baste, whichever works for you. And there you go, so you have a little pin cushion. Okay, last of all, we're going to just place our flaps and then baste them down to hold in place. Well, not really last, because we've also got our felt square to put on. So I like to keep mine square with straight edges, but you can use pinking shears if you prefer. That also looks quite nice. Okay, and then your little felt square, wherever you like to put it, is absolutely fine. You could even, before you sew this pocket down, put it underneath if you wanted. So I'm just going to sew across the top because that's what I like. And then remember to back tack the beginning and end. And there you go, there's all your base. Okay, the last measurements that we need to make are the very bottom at 1.5, and then at 3. So I just make tiny little marks so that you don't see them later. They'll just go in our seam allowance. And then we're going to put our elastic in place. And then we'll just baste that on.